Rockies continuing their series with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Rockies trying to close the gap, make it even tighter with the Dodgers. Troy Tulowitzki, he was the hero last night in the bottom of the 10th with a bases-loaded single to give the Rockies the victory. It's his third career walk-off hit and his 10th game-winning RBI of the season. What kind of magic is in store tonight? We just have to wait to find out. Welcome inside Coors Field. I'm Tom Helmer. The Rockies start tonight just 2 games behind the Dodgers in the NL West and a nice 4-game lead in the National League wildcard race. Right now, I'm going to turn things over to Drew Goodman and George Frazier because we're ready for Rockies baseball.
Loto Magic is alive and well. Deep on center field. Way back. Rockies win. Grand slam Ryan Spilborn. You gotta be kidding me. He's sprinting around the bases. Wow. Ian Stewart is the winning run at third base. Line drive, right center field. Rockies win it again. Winning always feels good, but the last 2 nights, come on, it brings it to another level. The euphoria meter is pinned, so get out the defibrillator and buckle up for another thrill-a-minute ride that is Rockies baseball. Well, I didn't know last night what you'd do for an encore. I don't know what you're going to do for an encore tonight. I do know this much. Coors Field will be filled up as the Rockies play Game 2 against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they are nipping at their heels. A check of the NL West, the Rockies just 2 games behind the Dodgers, who most people had handed the division about 2 months ago. Funny how things change in this grand game of baseball. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Good evening. I'm Drew Goodman. I don't know how productive the workforce has been in this region the last couple of days, but I know this much. Everybody who's gone to work has gone to work happy. Let me bring in my partner, George Frazier. There have been close ball games, and there have been come-from-behind ball games for the Rockies.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing you look at, the come-from-behind wins that the Rockies have and the way they've done it. I mean, it hasn't been in the 7th, 8th inning so much as it has been late in ball games, the heroic side of things. Ian Stewart one day, turn around, oh yeah, Lincecum left one up for Seth Smith. He left the yard. And as you look at what transpired, all of a sudden, Spilborn's grand slam in the 14th inning against the Giants. They put some nails in their coffin. Jim Tracy awfully happy. And then last night, Troy Tulowitzki on a fastball meant to be in. It was away. He made him pay for it. And I started laughing. I started doing the whole little bit of a talk today as I was watching Tulowitzki as he pointed to the dugout, going, na 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 na, I told you I'd do it. I mean, it's kind of one of those deals. It's like a bunch of little kids playing the game today.
They are as loose as can be, and why not? They are playing great baseball. They've been doing this for 3 months, though. They have been the best team in baseball for a long period. Hey, the Dragon Slayer's taking the hill tonight. We'll talk about Josh Fogg next. season series against the Dodgers and catch LA. They're just 3-10 so far against Los Angeles, but most of those losses came very early in the season, and as we all know, they are a different club right now. Back upstairs with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. The pitching matchup tonight, the left-hander for the Dodgers, Randy Wolf, against the Dragon Slayer, Josh Fogg for the Rockies. He loves these situations.
Well, he does, doesn't he? It seems like he just comes out and pitches his best baseball at that time, and Fogg has really been a savior for the Rockies in long relief. He deserves the opportunity when it presented itself to get back on the mound. Last September the 4th, 2008 with Cincinnati. It was against Pittsburgh in that start, his last start at the big league level. He's relied very heavily on his hard sinker. He's relied on the backdoor slider to work away from left-handers. He throws a high fastball now where he didn't in the past, to try to commit swings in on the hands so he can buy the outer half of the plate. Right guy, right time, big ballpark, big game.
And Randy Wolf has been pitching very, very well, so it's a tough assignment tonight.
It's a very tough assignment because of the big swooping curveball that he has. Guy's had a couple of elbow surgeries, had shoulders, he had tons of injuries, but he's won 98 games. He knows how to pitch.
He absolutely does. He's a veteran left-hander who knows what he is doing. So the table is set. We know you're ready at home. The Rockies, the Dodgers, come on back to Coors Field with us. Caught him, and the Rockies ended up winning in 10, 5-4 after winning 6-4 against the Giants on Monday. And that pitch after strike one is down low, 1-1 on Rafael Furcal. Furcal's average at 255. He's been scuffling a bit of late, and that ball is yanked foul past Mariano Duncan. Furcal just 2 for his last 18 at the plate, and in fact over his last 16 games he's hitting just 176. The Rockies hope to keep him quiet. I remember last year, George, I thought before he got hurt the first portion of the season, as he has gone here, Bob strikes him out. I thought he probably, if they gave an MVP away at the quarter pole in the National League, he would have been it.
I would agree with you on that. I said he stole a lot of bases. Now, that's the only thing he's not doing this year, just 6 stolen bases on the season.
Let's take a look at Joe Torre's lineup this evening. Very similar to last night. Matt Kemp will be in the 2-hole, then Andre Ethier. Manny Ramirez, Casey Blake slides into the 5-hole, James Loney 6, Russell Martin, Orlando Hudson, and Randy Wolf. Casey Blake had a nice 36th birthday last night with a home run and a single. And there's that cutter he likes to throw on the front doorstep, a little bit inside. So it's ball one on Matt Kemp with terrific numbers this year. 2-0.
Fogg has been able to pound the strike zone with the Rockies. I think that's why you see the very good numbers out of Josh Fogg. 225 earned run average, just 26 hits given up in 40 innings. Fogg's longest outing of the 09 season, 4 1/3 innings, 68 pitches. That came August 11th against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And there's the cutter on the outside corner, swung on and missed. It's 2-1. The Dodgers leading by 2 games. This is the smallest lead they've had since April 25th, when they led by just a game and a half over the Padres, believe it or not. Remember, the Padres got off to a good start in April.
Unbelievable start in April. Their ball club was pitching well. Jake Peavy was healthy. They were able to do some things. Their bullpen was strong. They went 12 out of their first 15 games.
Something like that. Ball 4. Fogg misses to Kemp. So he walks to first, and that'll bring up Andre Ethier, who's really swinging the bat very well.
Well, let's take a look at the Fidelity scouting report by Josh Fogg. Fastball 86 to 90. It'll sink, fade, and cut. Does a little bit of everything, folks. The slider 81-84 acts a lot like a cutter when he throws it at the right-handed hitter. I call it hip side slider. The changeup will be off of the sinker, 78 to 83. Keep the ball on the ground. You're having a good day for Josh Fogg.
Andre Ethier 3 for 4 and a walk last night. 2 singles and a double, drove in a run. He's hitting .367 in the month of August. And Fogg just holding the baseball. Matt Kemp is 27 of 33 stealing bases. And that's how the Dodgers broke on top last night, 1-0.
Well,
Kemp reached, he stole second, would come around eventually.
One way to do it is to step off, don't throw over very quickly, throw over slowly. But one of the best cures for slowing down a base stealer is just hold the baseball and freeze it. They're in a running mode. Their muscles are tense, and the more tense they get, the less the better jump. A lot of times they're uncomfortable. They like rhythm.
Ethier took the first pitch for a strike. Good pickup by Iannetta. Can't move it back to the bag. Now Josh Fogg getting the start. One of the reasons the Rockies have been so good this year is they have a very solid starting rotation that has been very healthy until the injury to Aaron Cook. 127 games, 123 have been started by Jimenez, Marquis, Cook, Hamill, or De La Rosa. Franklin Morales had 2 April starts. The only other guy who has a start before tonight is Yolis Chacin. That's it.
Health is one reason a ball club can get to the top of a division and stay there. Not only with the starting pitching, but also with their bullpen. Jim Tracy being able to manage the bullpen, minimize the workload. Protective of those guys down in the bullpen only makes them that much stronger.
And that misses. 2-1. Mike DeMuro is the home plate umpire. Dale Scott's at first, Ron Cope at second, and Jerry Meals is at third base. It's not just been a good August for Andre Ethier since the All-Star break. He's hitting .368. That's the 5th best mark in the National League. And it's 3-1. So Fogg falling behind with Kemp at first and 1 out. Matt Holliday's been terrific since coming from Oakland. Hanley Ramirez had a great year, period. Carlos Gonzalez on that list at .376. Last 2 days, he's been swinging the bat, getting closer to being able to fully return because he's played each of the last couple of ball games. He had a huge bunt hit in the 10th inning last night. There's Cargo next to Glenn Allen Hill. Got to make a pitch here. 3-1. See if Kemp's going. He is, and this ball's jacked. 2-0 Los Angeles on the 26th home run of the year by Andre Ethier. Yeah, he can do that.
Well, the biggest RBI guy in their ball club, 86 now in the season to go along with that 26th home run. Got into a hitter's count on a 3-1 count. Check your location as the ball starts to sink down and away from him. Tremendous plate coverage with that long swing and a very, very powerful bat into right center.
Manny Ramirez comes up. He had a big hit in the 9th inning last night, driving in the tying run on an 0-2 delivery from Matt Daly. And he gets a slider in the dirt, ball 1. A couple of hits last night for Ramirez. 2-0. Manny in his first 27 games hit .348 with 6 home runs, 20 RBIs. Then he was handed a 50-game sabbatical. Since then, he's played 46 games. He's hit .282 with 7 home runs, 26 RBIs. So the numbers have come down. Still a dangerous, dangerous hitter. 3-0. Well, the Rockies have come from behind each of the last 4 ball games. They've won 4 straight. And they're going to have to do it again tonight. Down by 5 Saturday. And a 4-pitch walk to Ramirez. So Josh Fogg is scuffling here in the first inning. 18 pitches, George, 12 out of the zone. Well,
again, I was looking at Manny Ramirez. It didn't appear after the 2-0 count. He was looking middle half in, going to try to drive the ball. Fogg's going to stay away from it. He's already down 2-0. Felt a little more comfortable going after Casey Blake, possibly. And so, you know, now Bob Apodaca is going to visit with Iannetta, with Fogg, about attacking the strike zone, get the ball down, turn a double play, get out of the inning. And it's all about believing in your stuff. 16 intentional walks for Manny Ramirez, too, to go along with 47 total walks.
Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. Ryan Spilborgh's again in left. Eric Young Jr. in center field. Brad Hobson right. Atkins and Tulowitzki. Barmison helping with Iannetta doing the catching. Now, the Rockies bullpen has been overused the last couple of days. There's a strike. In fact, they made a player move before the ball game. You know, Matt Merton was called up yesterday. Matt Merton had to be sent back out because they needed a pitcher. Colorado Springs, Juan Rincon has been recalled. Fouled off.
He's been throwing the ball well, down on an injury rehab with the Rockies after having a tender elbow in Cincinnati. The other night I had a couple of scouts call, tell me he was back to that 93-94, had a good cutter to go with it.
Matt Merton here for a day, and he will be back when the rosters expand. In all likelihood, Matt Merton will be back. That ERA, George, with Rincon is a little bit misleading. The league's hitting since the Rockies picked up Rincon just a smidgen over 200 against him. He had a bad outing or two that really sailed the ERA, but the hits, you know, are far less than innings pitched. He's very effective in most of his outings.
Well, one of the first outings he came into, the Angels, he struggled there with that one, and on one other he gave up 3 or 4 runs in that one inning. And for a reliever to get that reduced back down, you've got to throw, you know, 7-8 innings shutout baseball.
Ramirez at first. He's a station-to-station runner. Here's the 2-2 on Blake. Ground ball to third. See if the Rockies can turn it. There's 1. There's 2. Great feed by Atkins and a good turn by Clint Barmas at second base. But a 2-0 start for the Dodgers on the 2-run shot by Ethier. Quest Toll, the best way to save time and money. By Quest, get 2 free gigs of online backup with Quest high-speed internet. And by Nissan and your Nissan dealer. 76 degrees our game time temperature. Rockies trailing 2-0 with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies will present this lineup for the Dodgers tonight. EY Jr., second big league game, second big league start in the leadoff role. Ryan Spilborghs will be next, then Todd Helton, Troy Tulowitzki, Brad Hopp at the 5-hole. Garrett Atkins 4 for 12 against Randy Wolf. Then Clint Farmers, who had a home run last night, Chris Iannetta, and Josh Boggs. Now, Randy Wolf's been in a very good place of late, and his first pitch misses ball 1. Third at bat for EY last night, and he ripped it through the hole. First big league hit. Dad could hardly contain himself. Got a message from Dad earlier today. He said, "Can I get some DVDs of that?"
Well, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I believe they probably got it on tape down in the locker room. Brian Jones, Jimmy Hartley.
And this ball is toward the gap in left center field. Can't move it over quickly. And EY with that great speed took a wide turn and then brought it back. There's hit number 2. And a nice little counterpunch to what the Dodgers did in the first.
Absolutely. The curveball had stayed up into the strike zone. It did not spin down, and then EY just stuck the bat out. No lower body movement, all upper body swing, and a good job of staying right on the pitch, recognizing it, and then dump it into the outfield.
Well, that's a real good sign, because Randy Wolf in his last outing against the Cubs went 7 innings. He allowed 1 hit. Rockies already have 1. Spilborghs at the plate. He's had success against Randy Wolf. Swing on and miss. Spilborghs a couple of hits and 7 trips, including a home run against Wolf. For me, Randy Wolf is a left-handed version to a certain degree, a little different arsenal, to Jason Marquis. And the reason I say that, George, is stuff's good, great competitor, great makeup, veteran guy, good athlete, handles the bat very well.
Well, I think with him too, the curveball's the added dimension. That the only thing that Marquis does not have. He's won 98 games in the big leagues, lost 84. Last night, EY was picked off at first base by Clayton Kershaw after that first base hit.
And he's been pretty good against the Rockies. Though the Rockies at Coors Field have hit .319 against Randy Wolf. Inside, a ball and a strike on Spilborghs.
You talked about how good Randy Wolf had been, 3-3 through June at .361, but after that, July and August, 5-3, .299, averaging 6 innings in each of his last 11 starts.
Late break by Young, and he's hung up. He's got to hustle back, and he's gone. So the kid's learning left-handed moves in his first couple of ball games at the big league level, and he got a late break, and he realized he had no shot against Russell Martin and tried to get back to first.
Well, the foot was already down by Randy Wolf when he started to make his move to second base. Well in front. See, the foot's all the way down to the ground, and when it hit to the ground, there wasn't anywhere for EY to go but try to get back to the bag. They're going to run to that outside and thrown out.
3-1 on Spilborghs with Todd Helton waiting on deck.
That's probably the biggest asset Eli has. That is EY. That is his speed. Of course, he's trying to show that off as well as the bat, the ability to play in the outfield. A little over anxious, got picked off.
Ball 4.
Well, let's take a look at the fidelity scouting report on Mr. Wolf. Makes his start against the Rockies tonight. 86-92, sink and a cutter. He likes to run it in on the right-hander's hands. Slow sweeping curveball. That's what EY hit out into left center field. Slider 76-83. Very tight break. The changeup will come off of the sinker, try to get you out on that front foot, hook the ball to the left side.
Lefties are hitting just 142 against Randy Wolf this year. That's the third best mark in the game. Clint Barmas tutoring Eric Young Jr. My question for you, George, is with his great speed, guys with that kind of speed, base stealers typically have a green light. The only thing they get is a red light. Did he go on his own?
Well, I'm sure he did. I don't think that's in a position where Jim Tracy brought him up here to be a true leadoff man, to be a guy that gets on base, steal a base, get in a scoring position. You can't take away the one biggest asset that he really has, and that is the speed. Now, if you keep getting picked off, you might get it taken away. You may have to get the sign from Richie Dower on whether to go or not go.
But you know, he's a kid, and he wants to make he wants to help the club win first and foremost. He wants to make a good impression. You got a tough lefty out there. You're down a couple of runs. Maybe a situation where you need to be patient.
Well, I mean, you're down a couple of runs, but it's the first inning. And again, and the only reason I say all of this, Drew, is because he is such that's his biggest asset. 58 stolen base, club record down there. The runs scored. Speed is his deal. And, you know, I think, yeah, you could sit there and hold it down if it's the 7th, 8th inning and you got these guys coming up in the order. First inning, we'll try to see what happens out of it.
Yep. Spielborg's at first, 1 out, and a 3-1 count on Helton. Randy Wolf's done a good job against Todd in their matchups. Todd's just 5 for 25. He does own a home run. 3-2. Been a strange year for Randy Wolf. You say he's 8-6. Was he hurt? Was he on the DL? No. He has 13 no decisions. Team record is 18 for the Dodgers all time. And a strikeout by Randy Wolf of Todd Helton. Now here comes Troy Tulowitzki. And he made him chase him to the outfield last night after hitting the game winner.
Now you got to enjoy it when you get the opportunity. Fastball down and away, it goes to the dugout, out into left center field, and here's the peak to the dugout. You know what? We just want it, but come and get me. Let's have it out here in the middle of the field. One of the newest Rockies, Eric Young Jr., one of the most excited, jumping up and down.
Tulowitzki takes a strike. Tulo actually hit better against right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. He's at 285 against righties, 252 against lefties. Let's take a look at the Dodgers defensively. Manny's in left field, Matt Kemp in center. Andre Ethier in right, Blake and Furcal, Hudson and Loney in the infield, and Russell Martin has the gear on. This is the 21st game for Tulowitzki batting cleanup this year. He's become a fixture over the last few weeks in that spot, and he's responded well. He's hitting 300 with 3 home runs and 18 RBIs in those 20 ball games in the 4-hole. And the Rockies are 15-5 when he's in the cleanup spot. Off the end of the bat, slowly hit, and Hudson's going to make the play. Now there's a hit and a walk, but the Rockies couldn't cross home plate, so they trailed 2-0 as we go to the second.
Night the hero is Tulowitzki. The other night it was Ryan Spilborg. Fogg's going to be a big key in this ball game, that he can work into the 5th or 6th, give his club a chance to win, and then it's going to turn it over to a bullpen that, to say the least, there's not a whole lot down there ready to go tonight because of the overworkload that they've had. Rincon is back from AAA where he's been throwing the ball extremely well.
James Loney at the plate takes strike one. Fogg looking for a briefer second inning than the first. He threw 23 pitches in the first inning. He gave up a 2-run home run to Andre Ethier. And it's pulled foul. Fogg called back to the big leagues in late May 25th to be exact, after spending a couple of months down in Colorado Springs with the Reds last year. Back where he belongs in a Rockies uniform. Here's the 0-2. And a ground ball to second. Good pickup by Barmes. We say that frequently. Time to check in with Alana Rizzo with our first Mike Shaw auto update of the evening. Alana, how you doing?
Good, Drew. Thanks very much. I just wanted to update you guys on an incident that happened a couple of days ago on Monday night after Ryan Spilborg's hit that walk-off grand slam. You might remember a bunch of players kind of congregated behind home plate, and there was some talk about possible suspensions between either some of the Rockies players or the umpires. Well, we talked to Jim Tracy about it early this morning, and he talked to Bob Watson, the Vice President of Rules and On-Field Operations for Major League Baseball, and Mr. Watson said that there will not be any suspensions given to any of the Rockies players or any of the umpire staff of that night. Now, Jim Tracy was not able to talk about whether there will be any fines assessed, but there will not be any suspensions. Maybe you guys have a little bit more information about what happened behind the plate, guys.
Well, you know, it happens. George could expound on this certainly more than I can. I mean, there are ball games where there's probably some conversation. Players aren't happy with, you know, a call, or maybe it's a ball strike zone. And conversations occur. The most important thing, as Martin fouls us off, George, nobody's going to miss time.
Nobody's going to miss any time. And yes, you get a young umpire like Angel Campos behind the plate that hadn't been in the big leagues for a very long period of time, and you start to gnaw on him a little bit. The bench does, the catcher does, pitchers say a few things coming off the field, and the older guys try to protect you, meaning the older umpires try to protect the young umpires. It's intimidating to come up here to 40,000 people. You're in a pennant race. You're playing the Giants.
Two balls, two strikes on Russell Martin with one out. And this is a pop-up, and you know what? Fogg's going to take it, and why not? You know what, George? You would have had to wait for the first baseman to get there.
I'd have got it.
Fogg could catch
They'd
that.
have got mad, though, because I always like to try to catch him behind my back or between my legs, so I don't think that would have worked too good.
No, that wouldn't have been advisable. 2 outs, nobody on. That'll bring up the O-Dog, Orlando Hudson. Former Toronto Blue Jay, former Arizona Diamondback, and now with the LA Dodgers. And a ground ball to Tulowitzki. Good inning for Fogg.
Quick inning, 32 pitches to complete 2 innings. That's what you're looking for.
So the Rockies look to get back after Randy Wolf. Brad Hoppe will lead it off. 0-0. Andre Ethier, 2-run shot against Josh Fogg in the first. Brad Hopp will take his turn. 5, 6, and 7 against Randy Wolf for the Rockies here in the second. Fans, feed your Rockies fever at Taco Bell. When the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any ball game, go the following day to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations. Get 4 tacos for $1. That's a steal. Check stores for details. Randy Wolf gave up a leadoff hit to Eric Young Jr. and then he was caught stealing. Ryan Spilborghs walked after that, but then Wolf struck at Helton and got Tulowitzki to hit a ball off the end of the bat to second. Got that slow and then slower curveball.
The hardest part about Coors Field is not so much the ball slipping out of the hand as much as it is you've got to be able to hold on to the baseball longer and make sure you stay on top out in front of it and spin the ball. Otherwise you're going to end up having that hanging breaking ball.
.546 ERA at Coors Field, and I said this earlier, the Rockies hitting .319 against Randy Wolf at 20th and Blake. He's ahead of Hop 1 and 2. And this is popped up and may be playable, and then again it may not be. Brad last night left on left against Clayton Kershaw. Remember, Kershaw was rolling along. 4th inning, Helton double, and then 2 batters later, Brad Hopp hit one over the center field wall against Kershaw, and it was memorable for a couple of reasons. One, it tied up the game at 2. It was left on left against a nasty left-hander in Kershaw. And I guess the second point is just how nasty Kershaw has been this year. That was the first home run he had allowed in 20 starts. Think about that.
Well, left-handers had hit what, miserable, just over 100 against him over those starts you're talking about.
15 starts, I should say, but it's the same thing. 15 starts.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
90-something innings.
It's 3 months basically. Hop is gone. Here's Garrett Atkins, 4 for 12 lifetime against Wolf.
He has the most RBIs of anybody against Wolf in the Rockies lineup to go along with that. 5 RBIs and 1 home run.
Oh, and 2 on Garrett Atkins. Way inside. Garrett's hitting .282 against lefties this year. It's just been one of those years for Garrett. I think every good player has one. He has struggled, hitting .198 against righties. And this ball to short for Kyle. Will throw to first. 2 outs. Clint Barmas coming up. Our Xcel Energy fun fact: Clayton Kershaw not allowed a home run in 15 games before hops last night. Longest streak in the big leagues since Sid Fernandez, also with the Dodgers, at 92. In fact, Kershaw has only allowed 4 home runs in his last 23 games, and the Rockies own them all. How about that? Previous home run he'd allowed was against Ryan Spilborghs. Brad said 20 starts. That was Sid Fernandez, who went 20 starts without giving up a home run. Sid.
Looked like the ball was coming out of his chest all the time when he threw it. The hitters used to complain. He'd take that short arm and a big old body and a big barrel chest. Yeehaw, here it comes. You better get ready quick. You know, people forget about him when they discuss the Mets. You know, Ron Darling, Dwight Gooden. You know, Sid was such a big part of all that. I mean,
he's terrific.
He was outstanding.
And he was one of the top strikeout artists, George, to your point, in the game back then. Guys just did not pick up his fastball. Here's the 1-2 on Barmas, and Barmas fouls it back. Chatting with Clint before the ball game, and this isn't surprising. Most right-handed hitters like to see a lefty, and Barmas much prefers to see left-handed pitching. Outside. And the numbers reflect that. 272 against lefties this year, 241 against righties. Two and two, 2 outs, nobody on. And it's 3-2. You know, Barmes has not hit for much of an average since the All-Star break. He's thrown out 24 hits since the All-Star break, 179 average. But of those 24 hits, 11 have gone over the wall. So he goes to first, and that'll bring up Iannetta. Isn't that something? 11 of 24 hits, home runs.
The most home runs by a Rocky in the month of August, Clint Barmes was 7. Right behind that, Gonzalez was 6. Well, it just goes back to the old adage, if you're not going to get a lot of hits, the one you get, make them count.
And for the Rockies last night as a team, picking up on your theme, they did make them count against Kershaw, the 2-run home run by Hop. That's a strike. And he throws that curveball, you think it's never going to get there.
It's like an ephus curveball. Big old high, the looping thing. Change speeds off of it. Good that I really think this is good. Barmes got on. Now you're going to, obviously that's something you want to see. Remember in the dugout when he was talking to EY about pickoffs and leads and other things, Clint's not a big base stealer, but he's a veteran guy that's been around the game a long time. You know, and they were sitting there talking. EY's telling him probably what I saw in him, what you see in him. Now when Clint gets on base, he's seen Wolf a few more times than obviously Eric Young Jr. has seen him. Barmes has had a total of 6 at bats against him. My point is, you can go back and talk about maybe the movement of a hand, the leg kick. Was it high? Was it low when he came to first? Did he fade early and then come?
Oh, and 2 on Iannetta. Maloney holding on Barmes. Clint does have 11 stolen bases, but he's not going anywhere right here. You've heard of a step and a dive, George? That was just a dive.
Yeah, then all he had to do is fall down, stick his hands out, and hit the base with it.
Iannetta splits much better against left-handed pitching. Not to get too technical, one of the things they've been working with Chris Iannetta on, George, is that when he strides, they feel like he's always been locking off his hips. You talk about a pitcher cross-firing. Well, his right leg's coming so far in front of his left leg or across his left leg.
Well, you notice one thing that he did there, and maybe this is something he's trying to do to cure what you're talking about. Somewhat of a toe tap. Watch this toe right here. See how it goes back, sets, and then comes forward. Something Tulowitzki's doing a little bit of it. So Iannetta searching for an answer to that. Has started to do a little bit of that in his delivery or approach to the ball.
3-2. Barmes off with the pitch. Strike 3. Mike DeMuro calls out Chris Iannetta. In the inning, Barmes walked left at first. We'll go to the third. It's 2-0 LA. Auto. To find great deals on used cars, visit ColoradoWheelsOnline.com or pick up a magazine at over 200 locations. By the great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. And by Dex, take the sport out of finding local information with Dex. Find what you need when you need it in print and online at DexKnows.com. Little rain earlier in the evening and actually earlier in the afternoon prevented both teams from hitting out on the field. Both clubs worked in their respective cages underneath. Rockies trailed 2-0. Randy Wolf, very good hitting pitcher, takes like a changeup on the outside corner.
4-game hit streak right now, 6 for 10. Think about that, 4 doubles, a home run, and 5 RBIs. I mean, it's like you talk about something Helton's been doing.
Yeah. And it's 0-2. In fact, 2 starts ago, George, he was a triple short of the cycle. That's why I compare him a little bit to Marquis. Just how they get after it, their makeup. Randy Wolf pitching in his hometown of Los Angeles. 1-2, and this is popped up and not going to be playable for Ionetta. We told you earlier this is the smallest division lead for the Dodgers since they had a game-and-a-half lead back on April 25th against the Padres. Their largest division lead this year, June 4th, when they were up 9.5 games on second place San Francisco. Rockies at that point in time so far back wasn't worth mentioning, 15.5. And now they're 2 back. Swung on and missed, so Fogg strikes out Wolf. It's Wednesday night, and when we're at home, it's a mic'd up night. Bob Apodaca is wearing the microphone this evening.
Hey, we got a long way to go. Long way to go. Don't focus so much on their weaknesses right now. Do what you do best, okay? Do what you do best. You get ground balls.
Well, you love the conversation because that is what Josh Fogg does best. Get ground balls, attack the strike zone. You know, you're trying to sit there and work and work and work to stay on their weaknesses. And a lot of guys, a lot of teams early in the ball game will take a lot of pitches. They're trying to see if you're going to find the strike zone with everything. Take a couple of looks at you. They look at the numbers this year. They look at the numbers last year with Josh Fogg, and they go, what's the difference? So then they're going to take time to see why it's such an improved Josh Fogg at Coors Field.
2-strike count on Furcal. That conversation obviously took place right after the Ethier home run. Oh, actually, it was after the Ethier home run and the walk to Manny Ramirez that followed it. Strike 3. Furcal sees 3, and he's gone for the 2nd time tonight. Strikeout number 3 for Fogg.
Backdoor slider out half of the plate. I mean, this is something that Fogg, when his arm slot is right and everything's working, this is a pitch he will use to get the strikeout. Furcal thought it started outside, stayed outside, but it broke to that corner.
Kemp walked, rode home on the Ethier home run. This is popped up and playable for Helton, I think. Well, the wind's got a hold of it. Todd, who's right next to the stands, makes the catch. That's an 8-pitch inning, 7 in a row retired now by the Dragon Slayer. 2-0 LA. Time for our Geico quote of the day. Jim Tracy, the beauty about our baseball team since the latter part of May is they can't spell the word quit. I'm telling you, they don't understand what that word means, and that was on full display the last couple of nights, been on full display for several months. Spilborgh's the walk-off grand slam 48 hours ago, and last night Tulowitzki's walk-off hit in the 10th inning. So the fact that the Rockies are down 2-0 early, no big deal. Josh Fogg will lead it off against Randy Wolf, and then the top of the order. And Fogg takes low, ball 1. Rockies begin the night 18 over 500. First time in franchise history they could make such a claim. That's a strike. Best previous mark 17 over 500 when they concluded the 07 season in game 163 in that dramatic, speaking of come from behind victories, win over the Padres in the play-in game. Rockies on pace to win well above 90 games this year. 1-2, it's on the ground to Orlando Hudson. Time to go outside the box with Jack in the box. Well, little EY made his big league debut last night. He got a single in the 5th. One of 29 Rockies all-time to have a hit in their major league debut. One of 9 active Rockies. Look at that list. Atkins, Barnes, Hop, Helton, Iannetta, Morales, Quintanilla, Spilborghs, and Frankie on there. Franklin Morales. They all got that first knock out of the way in their first ball game. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, try the mini Buffalo Ranch chicken sandwiches. 3 mini home-style chicken fillets on toasted mini buns. That's a strike. EY owns the only hit for the Rockies in the game so far. A single to left center field, and he was caught stealing. And it's a 2-strike count.
Well, remember, the New York Mets will be in town September the 2nd. The first 5,000 through the gates will receive a Jason Marquis t-shirt courtesy of FSN Rocky Mountain. Stop by one of the Rockies ticket outlets. Go online to ColoradoRockies.com and pick up a ticket for that night, September 2nd. Jason Marquis t-shirt giveaway brought to you by FSN Rocky Mountain.
Who are the Rockies playing, George?
The New York Matties.
I have a question for you.
I don't know who's going to be here.
Are the Mets going to have any pitchers to throw in that series?
Are they going to have any players to play in the game that you'll recognize their name?
That's a valid question also.
David Wright, Delgado, Reyes, Beltran. Who am I missing? There's another one. There's 5 of them.
Sheffield healthy or hurt right now?
Yeah, no, he's playing.
Here's the 0-2 again. Well, yesterday the Mets learned that Santana is done for the year. He's going to have elbow surgery, not Tommy John surgery, but elbow surgery. Will be ready for spring training. Today they learned Oliver Perez is going to have some sort of surgery, and he's done for the year. He's got a knee ailment, I believe. This is on the ground to short for Collin to sit back, and he just got it there in time. That's how fast Eric Young Jr. is. You know, when he had to sit back and wait for that next hop, you knew it was going to be close.
There's a lot of scouts sitting downstairs with stopwatches kind of shaking their head from the right side. 1, 2 hops, 3 hops, sit back and wait on it. Then that snap throw over to first base. EY will thrill the crowd with his speed. There's no question about it.
He's really fast in slow motion.
Huh?
Well, that was slow motion. I thought he looked really fast even in slow motion.
Stop it, Brady.
Spilborghs hits it high in the air to left field. It's a 1-run game. Second time Spilborghs has victimized Randy Wolf. Number 8 for Spilborghs.
But it just never stops. If you need somebody to pick up someone else, Spilborg, Tulowitzki, Spilly, 2 out of the last 3 days have gone deep to give the Rockies to put them back, 1 to win it, this one to drop them only down a run. Just watch Manny Ramirez get to the wall and wave at it.
1-1 count on Helt. Todd struck out swinging his first time against Wolf. Martin sets up away, and Todd, who oftentimes will look away, fouls that pitch off. Todd hits it hard for Call on the outfield grass. With time, will throw out Helt. But the Rockies get a run on the home run by Ryan Spilborg. 2-1 affair as we go to the 4th. We go to the 4th inning. The Rockies trailing 2-1. Time for our Affleck trivia question. What is the largest deficit overcome to win a division or a league title? Back before there were divisions. Joe Torre's got a few managerial wins, as does Jim Tracy. Andre Ethier, 2-run home run his first time up. And he gets the breaking ball for a strike. Rockies put on a shift with Ethier at the plate. They've had trouble getting him out, but so has everybody else in the National League the last month and a half. He's 4 for 5 in the series, and he had a very good swing there. It's 0-2. Right field always a power spot, corner outfield spot. Ethier leading the National League in RBIs of right fielders with 86. Then Jason Worth, the former Dodger, with 79. Ryan Ludwig 77. Brad Hopp 75. 2-2. Rockies have had a couple of walk-off hits in the last 2 days. Andre Ethier is leading baseball in walk-off hits for the season. He's got 5 of them. 8 since the start of last year, which is tops in the big leagues. He's been a clutch performer. Tulowitzki on the right side of second base. Here's the 3-2. And this ball's hit a ton also. And he's got himself another home run. I might just have to pass on him the rest of the series. 3-1 LA. 27 home runs for Ethier. You just tell, I mean, he is locked in.
The 8th time that he has hit 2 home runs in a ball game in his career. Ball right out over the middle of the plate, dropped the head on it, and just got great extension. He's really seeing the baseball so well. It allows him to get a little of that back leg drive and elevate on it.
A strike on Manny Ramirez. National League West standings on June 3rd. The Dodgers were 37-18. The Rockies were 20-32. Since then, the Dodgers just 3 games over 500, 37-34. The Rockies 31 games over 500 at 53-22. Dodgers record since June 3rd for Joe Torre, 3rd best in the division, because the Giants are 43-33, 10 over since June 3rd.
Well, I mentioned that Ethier with 8 home runs, 8 multi-home run games. He's had 6 this season. Talk about putting a year together. 8 total in his career, where he's hit 2 home runs in a ball game. 6 of those now.
Well, there's a reason. With Manny Ramirez on your club, it just tells you how good Andre Ethier's been going and what Joe Torre thinks of him, because it's Ethier who hits in the coveted 3-hole, not Manny Ramirez. Typically, your best all-around hitter is going to hit the 3-hole. One who can hit for average, drive in runs, a guy that's got power. And for the Dodgers, that's their man, Andre Ethier. Dodgers have only 2 hits, the 2 home runs by Ethier. Here's the 1-2 to Manning outside. We were talking about records since June 3rd. How about records since the All-Star break? The Rockies 25-13. The Giants are 19-19. The Dodgers since the All-Star break 18-20. Arizona's a half game behind the Dodgers. He's talked about Arizona forever, but they're 17-20. They basically played the same kind of baseball as LA. So Manny gets hit, and now he goes to first. Still nobody out, and that will bring up Casey Blake. Colorado State Rams football fans, pay attention. Season tickets, mini plans on sale now. Visit csurams.com for details. Rams football, defend the fort. Blake grounded into a 5-4-3 double play to end the first inning. You know, the number thrown around in terms of pitches tonight for Josh Fogg was in the neighborhood of 80. It all depends how effective you are. I prefer, George, to think of it this way. I think if the Rockies could get 5 really good innings out of them where they're in the baseball game, they'd be very happy.
Oh, no question about that. No question whatsoever. All they're attempting to do is to make sure Josh Fogg keeps him in this ball game, give him a chance to win, try to get 5 innings out of him. If you get 6, that would be awesome.
Here's the 1-1 to Blake, and that is fouled off in no man's land down the right field line. It's 1-2. Casey Blake from Indianola, Iowa. A Little League team from Iowa that just got dismissed from the Little League World Series in Williamsport. Casey made a phone call, spoke with the team on a speakerphone to help further motivate those kids, those 12-year-olds. Great time of year. Here's the 1-2 outside, 2-2.
Well, that pitch count starts to climb after a little bit of a long first inning. Everything jumped in that second, third. Now starting to level off a little bit. 58 so far, 33 strikes. Shorten up some innings, rely on a sinker, get some ground ball outs. Not much speed at first or at the plate.
Blake chops it foul again.
Well, the irritating part is you kind of push on the gas pedal, hit the brakes a little bit, change the velocity off the pitch, change the sink action on the pitch, and they just keep nicking it foul. Keep nicking it foul. And you're like, hit it at somebody.
Three and two. James Loney on deck. Matt Herges, who got the win last night, figures to be the long man if one is necessary this evening. And he takes off, ball four. And now you're creating some issues. It looks like George Fogg gets to 2 strikes, and he's not a swing and miss pitcher. We all know that. And then he tries to be almost too fine, and there's some foul balls. Next thing you know, he gets in a hitter's count, and he's lost a couple of these guys.
Well, the problem you have is you throw the hook out, and they're just not grabbing the bait. You work yourself in a position, stay ahead, stay ahead. There's Rincon. He's firing that weight around in a circle and doing it pretty quick.
Maybe he'll be the long man. Rockies down 3-1, and Rincon is going to get up. Well, the Rockies are having a tough time winning at Coors Field. They're 7-13 through 20 games. They're now 12 games over 500, which even in years that did not turn out well. Talking a moment ago about CSU defending the fourth. The Rockies have always defended 20th and blank.
Well, they've always outscored the opposition, spanked the baseball in this ballpark. Nobody wanted to come to play the Rockies here because after a 3-game series, it affected you in so many different ways. One, the bullpen was typically wore out when you left town.
James Loney grounded to second his first time up. 2 on, nobody out. Get foul. Get foul. Not going to happen. 6-1 after that 3-run jack by James Loney. For Loney, his 8th of the year. And the Rockies are in the same predicament they were in over the weekend against the Giants when they fell behind 6-1. You know what happened that night. A lot of work to do for Colorado.
What is it with James Loney in this ballpark? He had the one day, a 9 RBI day, and in one swing he picks up 3 here. Look at the location of the pitch, though. Out over the plate, really worked his hands inside the ball to keep this ball fair. If he gets a little more top hand, this ball is probably going to hook up into the seats. Foul territory, not fair.
Home run, a hit by pitch, a walk, and another home run. 4 runs into the 4th inning, nobody out. Russell Martin at the plate, 1-1. 6 runs on 3 hits. All 3 hits home runs. 2-run shot, solo shot by the same guy, Andre Ethier, and then the 3-run shot by Loney, who has driven in 37 runs in his career at Coors Field. And there's a base hit to right. How many games does that come in, George?
27 ball games. Holy cow. I mean, even if you take those 9 away in the 1 ball game, that's still a ton. 28 and 27.
You're right.
Oh, my.
So it's not just that 1 game. It's starting to look like, George, as fast as Rincon can get ready, he may be in the game. And Fogg, after that rough first inning, retired 7 in a row. But this inning has not turned out well. The Rockies got as good a bit of news after that MRI to Aaron Cook's shoulder as they could have hoped for. Just a muscle strain, nothing structurally wrong. Aaron will begin a throwing program next Tuesday. But having said that, I mean, it's not like you're going to see Cook anytime soon. And Josh Fogg making the start tonight in the spot that Aaron Cook would normally occupy. And a chase for the division and trying to, at the very least, hold on to a wild card spot. This is going to be one of those key spots in the rotation.
69th pitch. That's the most Fogg has thrown in a single game this season. One thing to remember, folks, the minor league seasons do not end until September 7th. The Rockies have 5 of 7 teams that are in the playoffs.
Runner going, and Hudson fouls it off.
So, I mean, there's an opportunity if Cook can get in some mound work with that throwing program that Apodaca comes up with, along with Keith Duggar, that Jim Tracy might have a chance to see him, you know, be in a healthier situation, seeing games. The Rockies Instructional League does not start till September the 19th. So that's, you know, quite a distance between now and then as far as seeing game action.
Well, you're talking, even again, in the best case scenario, you're talking about a few starts. Well, when I say few starts that he's going to miss, and that's in a perfect world.
Perfect world. I think it'll be more than a couple, but Aaron Cook in 2007, prior to the start in the World Series, was at the Instructional League making starts to seed hitters.
And he actually finally made a start in the postseason game 4 of the World Series. It pitched well, but we all know who won that game 4. 3-1 on Hudson. Randy Wolf's on deck. Martin's at first. 4 runs in the inning. It's 6-1. After the ball game last night, Ned Colletti, who's traveling with the Dodgers, their general manager, had a closed-door meeting with Joe Torre before the media was let in the clubhouse. The players can say what they will, but they understand, and that's ball 4. They understand that wherever they were a month and a half ago, this Rockies team is coming. That'll be all for Josh Fogg. Jim Tracy's going to go and get him after 73 pitches. So Fogg goes 3+ and gives up 6 runs, responsible for the 2 men on base. Juan Rincon's going to come in. My wife and I, Christy, did a smart thing a while back. With 3 boys, we started a College Invest $529 savings plan for each one of our boys. And with college costs soaring as they are, we are thrilled that we did. It'll ease the pain some years down the road. You can do the same thing with a College Invest $529 plan. It only takes $25 to get started, and you can set up automatic deposits as well. That's what we've done, so check them out at collegeinvest.org. Get started saving for your kids' futures. And again, it's not just 4-year schools. It's good for junior colleges. It is good for vocational schools, trade schools, and it's good anywhere in this great country of ours. 6-1, the Dodgers leading the Rockies, and Juan Rincon will take over for Josh Fogg. Randy Wolf is who will face first. The pitcher for the Dodgers. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 800 Comcast. Martin at second. He singled. Hudson walked. He is at first base. 6 have come up here in the 4th inning. Nobody has been retired yet. Fogg in those 3+ innings gives up at least 6 pending the outcome of this inning. 4 hits. He walked 4, struck out 3. He also hit a batter. Tough night for Josh Fogg.
Well, Rincon has come in with 13 men on base, and guess what? Not a one in school. Need to have that happen right now. You talk about slamming the door shut. He's done that.
Throw to second, and Martin gets back in.
Get caught napping.
Actually, I beg to differ. Get caught napping.
Right. Well, exactly. You know what I meant.
I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Big lead here, thinking about the bunt, trying to get out in front so he doesn't get pinched off at third base. Get a high throw, why not?
Here comes Helton, and Wolf gets the bunt down, but it goes foul. Now the question is, the way Wolf swings the bat with the 5-run lead, does Joe Torre pull the bunt off or keep it on? Larry Bowa, the third base coach, former skipper. Fiery character. Good player in his own right for a long time. Shortstop with the Phillies.
Cubs
as well. You're
long
right.
time. Came over with Dallas Green. Dallas Green liked him. Brought him back to Philadelphia for a while as manager coach.
Strike 3 on the bunt attempt. You know, he's a Dallas Green, George, kind of guy, isn't he?
You think?
They're cut from the same cloth.
I'm telling you right now, those two guys are identical. The in-your-face type guy. Bowa was that way as a player. Only cared about winning baseball games, nothing else. Played the game right. Sean Dunston came along behind that, replaced him as a shortstop. Pretty good shortstop in his own right.
Yeah, former teammate of yours.
You bet.
He played the game right also.
But Larry did a lot of little things to win the games. People forget he had 2,000 hits. Played a long time in the big one.
Rafael Furcal with 1 out. Fogg hailed him twice, struck him out 2 times. Now going back to Juan Rincon when he was up with the Rockies. 2-2, 6.91 ERA, but 14 in the 3rd innings, just 11 hits, 15 strikeouts. This is a bouncer to third, step on the bag, plant your feet, and throw to first.
Make it 15 inherited runners have not scored with Rincon on the mound.
Now the Rockies have work to do. They're down 6-1. Andre Ethier has been a beast tonight. He has 2 home runs, and James Loney has also added a 3-run shot. 6-1 Dodgers. 6-1 LA, bottom of the fourth inning. Tulowitzki, Hop, and Atkins against Randy Wolf. Rockies got a run in the third inning on a solo shot by Ryan Spilborghs. Tulowitzki hit it on the ground to second, his first time up. Mike DeMuro is a good umpire. He just takes his time calling balls and strikes. That was a strike.
Well, a lot of times what he does, Drew, watch his strike call when it is a strike call. Watch what he does. A lot of times he'll put the fist right out in front of his chest, so if you're behind, you can't see him make that call.
Manny called off for Kyle. I don't know if that's what you want. He made the catch. Let's check in with Alana.
Guys, it's that time of year where we begin talking about the Branch Rickey Award. It's presented by Quest, and it was created by the Rotary Club of Denver. It's all about honoring humanitarians in Major League Baseball who put service above self. It's all about service to the community. The Colorado Rockies have nominated Aaron Cook for his commitment to military men and women. He and his wife have started a Tickets for Veterans program. He was also instrumental in the funding of a new baseball field in Windsor, Colorado. You might remember that city was struck by a tornado in May of 2008. Aaron Cook, the nominee for the Colorado Rockies. It will be announced on September 3rd, on Thursday. The award will be presented on Saturday, November 14th, here in Denver. And Drew and George, I know that you two are on the National Selection Committee that gets to vote on the winner.
That's a great honor, a very prestigious honor. And it's nice that it is housed here in Denver. This is ground ball to first. Loney to Wolf, 2 outs. And Brad Hopp's retired. That'll bring up Garrett Atkins. At the knees for a strike. I'm looking back at Randy Wolf's career. He's typically been a 10-11 game winner. In Philadelphia in 03, won 16 games. That's a career best. His lowest ERA in a season was 02, and he had a 3.20 ERA. His next lowest ERA, what he's done so far this year. And he works a 1-2-3 fourth inning. We go to the fifth at 6-1 Los Angeles. Back to Coors Field right after this. Now with Hyundai Assurance. Buy any new Hyundai and get a whole year's worth of gas for $1.49 per gallon. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service, warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Well, the Rockies need to call 1-800-SCORE some runs. They're down 6-1 in the 5th inning. Randy Wolf fashioning a 2-hitter. He quietly has been their most consistent pitcher of late. Matt Kemp with a big swing and a miss against Juan Rincon in relief of Josh Fogg. Fogg went 3+, allowed 6 runs on 4 hits, walked 4, and hit a bat. And this is on the ground foul. Juan kept that streak alive, George. Inherited runners.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, big judgment for me on the relief pitchers and how many inherited runners have scored. To be 0-15 now. In other words, 15 runners have been on base when he's entered into ball games over the span that he has pitched in, and none have scored. That is tremendous. Trying to go with the fastball, want to ride it up out of the zone, cut it a little bit. There it is.
Kemp a walk and a foul out. 1-2. On the native of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Know anything about that town, George?
A little bit.
And Kemp fouls this one off. Matt was a very gifted basketball player in high school, so much so that your alma mater, George, University of Oklahoma, wanted to come play hoops here.
Well, actually, the scout in that area, Dark Cox, begged this kid to come to a workout so he could work him out, so a lot of guys could watch him work out. But he really wanted to go play basketball on the AAU team, so he really didn't get a true judgment of what Matt Kemp could do a lot of times in high school because he was gone on the weekends playing in AAU basketball tournaments.
I always recall with Rich Donnelly, who at the time that Matt broke into the big leagues was coaching third base for Grady Little, and I asked him, I said, how's this Kemp kid? And he said, in time he has the ability to be the best player in the big leagues. I said, come again? I mean that's a big statement.
Yeah, I mean that's hard. I don't know that I would jump out on that limb with Rich Donnelly, but he has become a very productive and good baseball player. No question about it. His career, 300 hitter, 53 home runs, 219 RBIs, and a young career.
And even if he fell short of that loftiest statement, it just tells you what kind of ability he has. Here's the 2-2. Atkins, long throw, and he just did get Kemp, who thought he had beaten. You want to talk about speed for a big man, George? That's a 2-hopper to the third baseman.
2-hopper to the third baseman and really striding out. Dale Scott, the veteran umpire over at first base. When he takes off, watch when his ball's hit. Acceleration immediately with awfully long strides, but a sprinter type run. See how he's pumping his arm straight ahead versus moving and then up, you're out. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. Watch these jumps. Key to this play, Helton came out and met the baseball, yet able to keep his foot on the bat.
He may have had an argument. It's a good description, George. You can tell he's either had a track background or done some training with a track coach, because his form, he pumped his arms and the hands coming up, the elbows tight to the body.
But it was immediately like it coming out of the blocks, out of the bottom. I mean, he immediately went to that pump to keep everything working together.
See if Juan Rincon can retire Andre Ethier. Hamill had trouble last night. Josh Fogg couldn't do it. He gave up 2 home runs to Ethier. Here's the 1-1. And looks like they'll finally get him. Barmes, 4-1 as he had to fire to Rincon. 2 outs. Let's answer our Affleck trivia question. What is the largest deficit overcome to win a division or league title? Rockies are 1.15 back. They're 2 back right now. The all-time record 15. The 1914 Boston Braves ended up winning the division by 10.5 games, but they were 15 back at one juncture. The Rockies could eclipse that all-time record. Here's Manny Ramirez with 2 outs. And to me, it's just another extraordinary story. The Rockies didn't just make the postseason in 07. They did it winning 14 in their final 15. No team had ever closed that way and had to close that way to make the postseason. Ground ball to second. And if the Rockies end up finishing first in the NL West. It'll be another history-making performance by this franchise. By Dex, because Dex knows, but Clint Barmas is going to take a look at a pitch before we tell you what Dex knows. Hey, 1947, August 25th, Dan Bankhead becomes the Major League's first African-American pitcher. He doesn't do well in a relief stint, giving up 10 hits and 6 runs in 3 1/3. The Dodger rookie hits a home run, though, in his first at-bat. 1947. It was the same year that Jackie Robinson for the Dodgers broke the color barrier. We were talking about Branch Rickey earlier. Branch Rickey, of course, signed the late great Jackie Robinson. 2 balls and a strike on Barmas, who walked his first time up. Randy Wolf has allowed just 2 hits. An Eric Young single and a solo home run by Ryan Spilborghs in the 3rd. And this ball lined to center field. Kemp is right there, though, 1 out. Chris Ionetta will be next. A little bit more on the 1914 Boston Braves. They were 15 back of the New York Giants on July the 4th. They were 26-40. They went 68-19 the rest of the way. Rabbit Moranville, as a Hall of Famer, was on that team. Johnny Evers. Remember what tinkered a chance to Evers? George, that was the Cubs in 1906.
Say that again. What'd you say?
Tinkers to Evers to chance. I kind of confused it.
Yeah.
Tinker to Evers to chance. Anyhow, Evers was with the Cubs back in the first part of the 20th century, and then he moved on to Boston. It's a slow hook. It's 0-2. And there is a tie between the 2009 Rockies and the 06 Chicago Cubs. There's Sam Herniason, who runs home plate camera here during our broadcast. He was running the home plate camera in 06, 103 years ago, George.
That's what I say. That's what I thought. That's what you meant.
Yeah.
He had hair, though.
Oh, he had a full head of hair back then. Sam, you telling us we're number 1, huh? Thank you for that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And this ball is launched to left center field. Man is not going to get there. In fact, it'll be Matt Kemp who finally picks up the baseball. It's a double for Iannetta.
Just for those of you sitting at home on the edge of your couch wanting to know how many times Mr. Rincon got to the plate. There's that ball. It looked almost like a slider. He forgot to slide. Just stayed right up in the middle of the plate with a ball that was cutting to the middle, and he just took it into a good part of the ballpark in left center. You're wondering how many at-bats he has? Well, the last one he had was in 04.
He's been in the American League, and he's a relief pitcher.
2004. He's had 3. This will be his 3rd career at bat in 433 games. And he's 1 for 2.
So you know what? I'd have him swing here. You want to know why?
Why?
Because if he is successful at the bunt, you get the runner to 3rd. I understand that, but there's 2 outs. Maybe he gets lucky. He didn't get lucky. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Eric Young Jr. Windshield chipped or cracked? Please call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. The Rockies in their chip away mode, excuse me. Down by 5 runs. Trouble is, Randy Wolf hasn't been cooperating. He's been outstanding. Just keeps you off balance with that slow curveball.
We just never know when you're going to get it.
On the ground to 3rd. And Blake throws out Young. So Iannetta doubles with 1 out, but he's stranded at second base. 5 innings completed Coors Field. It is 6-1 LA.
Early on, and then he got a little bit tentative after the second Ethier home run, and that's where we ran into a problem. Obviously there's still a lot of baseball to be played, but if we could have gotten a 0 or a much smaller number there with the way Juan Rincon's throwing the ball, we'd be much closer, obviously, than we are right now, and have a much better chance. We got a pretty good hill to have to climb over here.
Jim, that's the one thing I was going to bring up immediately to you there. This club has pecked away. And you got 4 innings to peck away on these guys.
We really do, George. If you peck away, that's something we've done a good job of. You peck away a little bit and then find your way to a little bit larger inning. This could get interesting, but obviously we have to start pecking here pretty quick.
All right, Trace, thanks very much. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, you guys.
So Juan Rincon, who, as Jim Tracy said, has been very good since taking over for Josh Fogg with nobody out in the 4th inning. 2 men on. He didn't give up any further damage in that inning, then worked to 1, 2, 3, 5th, and he has an easy ground ball to start the 6th inning. Casey Blake retired.
Well, think about this. He's gotten so far in the ball game 4 ground ball outs on 19 pitches. 15 have been strikes. And being an American League guy, you're used to working. some extra innings. He's gone multiple innings at AAA Colorado Springs on his rehab assignment.
James Loney 1 for 2, but it was a big one. 3-run home run against Josh Fogg. You know, the only question with it was it going to stay fair, and it did by several feet. You know, Loney over the last 3 weeks hitting just 155. When he comes to Coors Field, he's like Babe Ruth reincarnated. 2 outs. That'll bring up Russell Martin. And you look back the last few ball games, George. It's not just tonight where the Rockies have had to score late. They got a couple of runs in the first 6 innings on the 2-run home run by Brad Hopp last night against Clayton Kershaw. That was it. Against Barry Zito, they had 1 run until the infamous 14th inning. And then against Tim Lincecum, they didn't have a hit until the 6th inning. They got a run in that 6th inning. So you get the point. The Rockies haven't done a lot of scoring in the first 2/3 of ball games the last several days. Fortunately, they've done a lot of winning at the end.
Picked on bullpens.
They have. Here's the 2-0 to Russell Martin. Swung on and missed. Last we heard down in Colorado Springs, Jason Giambi 2 for 3 tonight, driven in a run. There's a Giambi fan. See, that's the Yankee pinstripes. I thought he already made one up with a Rockies jersey.
Well, if you have not already bought a season ticket holder, here's the best way to do it to guarantee yourself a chance to get some postseason tickets. Make a 2010 season ticket deposit. Just make a deposit on your 2010 tickets, or purchase the stretch run ticket package. Now remember, this ends shortly, and it's August 31st, the last time you could do this. So make sure you get on your computers, ColoradoRockies.com, and make that stretch run ticket drive. August 31st, that's the deadline.
Two and 2 on Martin. Three balls and 2 strikes. Martin has been up and down, up and down. April he hit just 205. Then in May he hit 330. June was awful, 190. July was terrific, 317. He's down again, 229 in the month of August. I guess that means September will be a big month, huh?
That's what they're hoping for.
3-2. See you later. What a job so far by Juan Rincon. He is retired. All 8 he has faced. big swings of the bat, 2 by Andre Ethier and 1 by James Loney, the difference in this ball game. All 6 runs coming on the long ball tonight for the Dodgers. If they lead at 6-1, that's our Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze Can. Randy Wolf's been pretty good. He's thrown a 3-hitter. Ryan Spilborgh's to lead it off. He's the reason the Rockies have 1 run. He hit a home run to left in the 3rd. He also has walked against Wolf. And that's in there for a strike, 0-1.
It appears every time he gets ready to air out a fastball or try to add a little bit to it, he's got a little bit of a head jerk to it. And then he'll put the head jerk at the very end on the changeup to help deceive the hitters a little bit more. It's right out there just at the very end of it.
See a contrast, Barry Zito the other day, George, off the extreme, that's strike 3. Off the extreme third base side of the rubber. Here's the left-hander Wolf that's more toward the first base side.
Hide the ball off. See, I'm a believer that if you're right-handed, you work off the right-hand side. That's just me. Other guys have different theories and reasons why. Left-handed, go to the left-hand side, you hide the ball longer. Just a theory.
One out, Todd Helton at the plate. One of the more overlooked parts of the game of baseball is physically demanding. You're on your feet for a number of hours, day after day, making a number of explosive moves that most people never see. That's a line drive for Cobb. Every time the ball is struck, you roll in, or the pitch, you roll up on the balls of your feet. And then if there's a foul ball, every player moves all of a sudden, because they don't, initially you're trying to get a good jump, you don't know where it's going, then you shut it down.
You better move on every pitch.
Absolutely. And the other part that's underappreciated is the mental grind. I was talking to Todd Helton about that the other night. I mean, the focus it takes, pitch after pitch, night after night, and especially the acute focus when not that you're going to give away at bats or plays in April or May, or if you're 20 games under 500. But let's face it, when you're in the position the Rockies are, the Dodgers are, every moment is magnified. It becomes that much more important.
And you talked to Todd about it, and the focus and what you had to have.
Knocked down by Wolf, and safe at first, Tulowitzki. It's a great effort by Randy Wolf.
Now Joe Torre's going to jog all the way out there with his club up 6-1. He wants to ask him about it to see if it's how close this thing was or was not. And James Loney's doing it the right way. Let's take a look at it. On the knuckles of Tulowitzki, not handled by Wolf, and then he flips it over. Dale Scott, let's see one more time. It's going to tell you right here, folks. Out. Looked out to me. Just a minute ago, as Kemp looked saved. He's out.
I think Kemp was safe, and I think Tulo was out. He was out.
Take it any way you can.
Yeah. Rockies will take it. Randy Wolf says he's okay to his skipper. Hop, a strikeout, and a ground ball to first. Randy Wolf turned 33 4 days ago.
And for those of you at home, umpires do go in. The game's on VHS right now, or on a disc, and they go home being recorded. They go in the locker room, and they sit down and look at it.
Hold on, timeout.
They did use a VHS 3 years ago. I'm just telling you.
VHS still?
Yeah. It's 3 years ago they had one in the umpires room.
I got an 8-track. I got an 8-track. I'm going to give you. You're really going to like.
You do not have an 8-track. I might have. You do not have it. But they tape the games, and then they go in and look at close calls. They'll fast forward. What inning was it? They'll go in and look and see, did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? And kind of make their own judgments. Every game's taped for a lot of reasons. I mean, number one, if there's an incident on the field, to go back and review, because if there is and somebody gets ejected, they have to write everything up. It's always to have a good visual, as well as what you saw, to back up everything.
2 balls and a strike on Hop. Sitting on 18 home runs and 75 driven in. And that's in there, 2-2. Brad out of Fort Worth, Texas. Foul ball, took the mask off for Russell Martin. Hop's trying to do something that he did in the minor leagues on a couple of occasions, but has not done in the big leagues. It's hard to do. And that's hit 300 for an entire season. His high water mark in the big leagues, 293 in 2006. 07 he had 291. He's at 302 right now. And this is in the air to shallow center field. Kemp coming on. He's got it. And the Rockies are done in the 6th inning. Randy Wolf's been terrific. The Dodgers lead it 6-1. The Rocky Mountain Showdown will begin at 4:30. FSN Rocky Mountain brings you all the excitement from Folsom Field as the Rams and Buffaloes get together. Pre-game report presented by Toyota with the football game 30 minutes later. That's September 6th right here on FSN Rocky Mountain. Orlando Hudson in the 7th inning against Juan Rincon. And this is a big Baltimore chop. Tulowitzki throws him out. Let's check in again with Alana Rizzo with our great Colorado Payback Sideline Report. Alana.
All right, Drew, thanks very much. You know, the Rockies have a lot of work to do in this game, but they're certainly keeping things in perspective. In fact, the clubhouse is extremely loose, as you guys were alluding to earlier. It looks a little bit more like an NFL team than a Major League Baseball team. The Rockies, those that choose to participate, are having their draft tomorrow night for fantasy football after they get to San Francisco. And all of the players have jerseys of the player that they hope to be able to draft as their first pick. So they've been running route plays in the clubhouse, hoping that they're either Larry Fitzgerald or, you know, Tom Brady or whatever you have. And I asked Jim Tracy how he felt about the fact that they're so loose, they're so confident, even though they're going through this pennant race. He says, I absolutely love it. This team is confident, but they're having fun. They're keeping things in perspective, and they're handling things the right way. They're embracing it. That's exactly what they're supposed to be doing, guys.
Hey, listen, Alana, to your point, you're going to be a lot looser. I mean, you're going to play a lot looser if you are loose. I mean, putting the game face on at 3 in the afternoon, George, you were in a lot of pennant races. What good does that do?
That was one of your first yogiisms, and I like that. You're looser if you're looser or whatever.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Said. I don't know what you say. Well, yeah, when you're winning and you're having fun and you're a good team, you can't wait to get to the locker. You don't walk there all stone-faced going, oh, we're 17 games out. Nah, we're 2 games back of the Dodgers playing good baseball. Let's have some fun. You'll see some cards games, domino games, guys talking, messing around. You're happy.
Or guys running pass routes as they were today in the clubhouse. Here's the 2-1, and that ball is down the right field line toward the corner, and it is a foul ball. So Randy Wolf will have to come back. Time for What Do You Know, brought to you by Radio Shack. Randy Wolf is the first Dodgers pitcher with 11 ribbies in a single season since Fernando Valenzuela had 11 in 1990. And wherever the Dodgers are, Fernando is as well. He's one of the radio broadcasters on the Spanish broadcast of Dodger baseball. There is Fernando with Jaime, who's in the Hall of Fame. This ball is hit well to right. Has 2 outs.
I'll tell you another thing about Fernando. He played first base in the outfield when he wasn't pitching during Mexican League when he'd go home in the wintertime. Guy could rake.
Yes, he could.
I wonder how many other brothers have been an umpire-player combination in the big leagues. There you go, Dougie, get busy. You're sitting over there bored, told me to give you something. There you go.
Jay, we got to get a shot of Jaime Jarrín because he is in the broadcasters wing of the Hall of Fame, just like the great Vin Scully next door. Scully's in his 60th year. Amazing. Of broadcasting Dodger baseball, and he's as good as ever. Jaime's in his 51st year.
Well, both guys, there he is.
Marvelous, and just like Vin, a marvelous gentleman.
I mean, it's amazing how nice of people both of these guys are. I mean, they're in the Hall of Fame. Vinny's done everything in television imaginable. Same with Jaime. I mean, it's
Jaime's a native of Ecuador. Just a tremendous broadcasters, tremendous gentleman. 2 strikes on for Kyle. Don Mattingly, George, is going to be working hard for Kyle. Jeff Pentland, who's the Dodgers want to get him straightened out. He's not in a good place right now offensively.
A lot of times what goes on is Pentland and Mattingly will talk, and then a lot of times they'll go to the cages and work, and then let's say regular batting practice starts on the field. Jeff or Donnie will take that, and then the other one stay inside, so a lot of people don't see, exactly what's going on. Doug, you're amazing. Tom Haller, catcher for the Giants, Dodgers, 60s, 70s. Brother Bill was an umpire from July 14th, 1972. That's incredible. Drew, give him a raise.
Dougie, you get another attaboy. There's your raise.
Again.
Tough economic times, my friend.
I've been saying that for about 15 years.
How long's that going to work? When's the statute of limitations up on that?
He keeps believing. Don't worry about it.
Honoring Cone, a 2-2 count on Rafael Furcal. And he got him.
How about Wandering Cone?
Well, Wandering Cone has been perfect, literally, since he came into the ball game in the 4th inning with nobody out. He's gotten everybody. Rockies need some runs. 6-1 LA. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. First pitch was in there for a strike on Garrett Atkins. He's played pepper with Rafael Furcal tonight. 2 ground balls to short, and he's behind 0-2. Crowd of 38,350 at Coors Field this evening. Tomorrow is an afternoon affair, getaway day for both teams. Rockies off to San Francisco, the Dodgers to Cincinnati. It'll be a short business trip for the Rockies. Weekend set against the Giants and then back home for 10 ball games. Two and two on Atkins. Kemp makes the catch. Clint Barmas coming up. Juan Rincon has been marvelous. 4 innings pitch. No blemishes. 3 strikeouts. Bob Apodaca a moment ago talking to Rincon.
That's it, baby. That's super. That's super. You had such great playing on your pitches today. Really staying back on that back leg. That was fabulous.
Yeah, that was fabulous, George. No other way to describe it. You can appreciate that, huh?
Absolutely. Come out of it. I mean, that was an American League relief appearance where you don't have to hit, but he hit. You know what I mean? You get 4 innings in, and that's the way a lot of guys had to work.
Well, did Barmas get this one high and deep left field? Manny going back. And he makes the catch.
What Bob Apodaca was talking about, saying great plane on all of your pitches, was he was very tall on the back leg. He set on it longer, which allowed him to have a downward plane with his arm and didn't work under or flat on the baseball where it came up into the zone. 4 innings of work for Rincon, 0 hits. That's huge.
That's a bullpen saver also on a night where you had to go to your pen in the 4th inning. And then it turns on a hanging curveball. This is a strange game. See Matt Hergis up. He got the victory last night. Strange game, George, in that the Dodgers are up by plenty. They're up 6-1. They have only 4 hits. The Rockies have only 4 hits, but they have 3 home runs.
2 by Ethier and then a big one by Loney, that 3-run shot. Ethier had a 2-run shot in the 1st inning. Wells Fargo customers enjoy Colorado Rockies baseball in style with a special Wells Fargo offer. It's a 2-for-1 club level seats. Visit wellsfargo.com/Rockies for all the details. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC, official bank of the Colorado Rockies.
On the ground to 3rd, Casey Blake.
Maybe Rincon isn't done. It's a nice job, but you never know. He is. Here comes Hergis, 6-1 Dodgers.
Today's E470 Road Ahead brought to you by E470 and Express Toll, the best way to save time and money. Tomorrow afternoon, right here on FSN, the Rockies conclude this 3-game set with the Dodgers, and it's off to see Bruce Bochy's Giants again. Monday will be a welcomed day off, and then the Mets stumble into town. And after the Mets, the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Cincinnati Reds for 4 ball games. So a 10-game homestand for Colorado against 3 teams below 500. Omar Quintanilla is in the ball game in a double switch. Clint Barmas is out. The pitcher spot now the 7-hole. Quintanilla will lead off next inning. Matt Hergis is the new arm. And Matt Kemp fouls it off. This call to the pen brought to you by Comcast. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Hergis got the W last night. He pitched a perfect top of the 10th.
The key for Matt Hergis, he's got to mix in the changeup and the curveball. Then he can run that fastball either inside or outside. But his curveball and changeup is what sets up the fastball instead of vice versa. 4-2, walk in the first, and a run scored on the home run by Ethier.
Ethier's on deck. 2-strike count on Kemp.
See,
for 2 and a walk.
What you really got to remember about something, and Jim Tracy did a double switch a minute ago, and he put Quintanilla in the 9th hole. That's why he went in. If you can save, and this is not a knock obviously on Rincon, it's not a knock on Hergis, but if you can keep Street, Betancourt, and Daly out of this game, Beimel and Morales, and by doing a double switch, you're trying to eat up 2 innings with your pitcher. Is what you're trying to do. You hope he's going to get 6 outs. You know, and you may have to pinch hit for him. Obviously, you score some runs. But it buys you that time for tomorrow with the other guys down in the bullpen, with 2 veteran guys doing this.
Hergis strikes out Matt Kemp, 1 out. Tonight's delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's. Andre Ethier, a 2-run home run in the 1st inning. And in his next at bat, Andre Ethier, a solo home run. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Juan Rincon finally got him out. 5 hits in the series already for Ethier. Rincon got him to ground to second. 3 on the right side. One strike count on Ethier. And it's 0-2. National League scoreboard. The Padres win again in Atlanta, 12-5. That's a lot of runs. Padres get 12 runs. It usually takes them about a week to get 12 runs.
Well, everybody's starting to take shots at the Padres. Not that kind of a shot, but saying a glorified AAA team. And all of a sudden, they're starting to beat some people.
Kevin Kuzminoff, Colorado, his 16th home run. Good pitch. It's going to be a bad result, though.
Yep. Well, they say hit it where they ain't, so he did. They were on a big swing all the way around with the infield.
George
had to pull on an 0-2 count. I mean, there's nothing out there.
Closest fielder other than the pitcher to this ball was 6 miles away. Garrett Atkins was playing the deep shortstop with the shift on. Manny Ramirez is 0 for 1, a walk, and he was hit by a pitch. Crowds love a villain. They love to boo Barry Bonds, and now crowds, understandably, enjoy booing Manny Ramirez. Said this yesterday. He was even starting to hear it a little bit at home. The Dodgers' last game Sunday against the Cubs when he went 0 for 4 and had an error. Made the final out of that ball game, a 3-1 loss to Chicago. Manny Ramirez of Dominican descent, though he was born in New York. And a line drive to right for a base hit. That'll bring up Casey Blake. Philadelphia in 10 innings beat the Pirates 4-1. Blake coming up. I was going to tell you the home runs in that game, George, but my scoreboard disappeared for a moment. Got it back. Howard is 35th. Utley is 27th. There's one formidable lineup. There's a strike. Marlins beat the Mets. Josh Johnson's now 13-3.
13-3, so it makes it, I think he's 20-3 since coming back from Tommy John, or 20-5 since coming back from Tommy John a year ago in July. Watch your lips. In July.
Ronnie Paulino, a home run for the Marlins. Milwaukee leading Cincinnati in the 8th inning, 3-2. Lance Nix a home run for the Reds. Prince Fielder is 34th. Jody Garrett is 6th for Milwaukee. Cubs in the 8th leading 6-2 over Washington. Milton Bradley is 11th. St. Louis beat Houston 3-2 tonight. They roll on. They've opened up a big lead in the National League Central. Here's the 0-2 way outside. Cardinals in the NL Central lead the Cubs by 9. And Houston and Milwaukee by 11. They have about turned out the lights in that division. They have two 15-game winners. Chris Carpenter, speaking of comebacks from surgery, and Adam Wainwright. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They're in the 3rd inning in San Francisco. Arizona leading the Giants 1-0. That was a smidgen inside. Three and 2 with 1 out. Chris Iannetta flashing signs. See if the Dodgers put guys in motion here. There they go, and it's fouled off.
Purchase a green pack and help the environment while you're enjoying a day at the ballpark. You get 2 tickets for $20, and $5 of each pack sold goes to our Wood for Wood tree planting program. Available during the September Green Week, September the 1st through September the 7th. Go to ColoradoRockies.com and purchase one today. That's the green pack. If you get a couple of tickets for $20, $5 will go for each pack sold will go to the Wood for Wood tree planting program.
That Cards victory, Ryan Franklin got another save.
It's 3 days. It's 3 days in a row.
Yeah, he's got 34 saves now, so he just moved in front of the Rockies-Houston streak by 1. Joel Pinheiro got another victory. He has quietly had a terrific year. Swung on and missed. They'll throw behind and get in. Great decision by Iannetta. Absolutely. Absolutely. So they get to strike him out, throw him out. Burgess out of the 8th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rockies 6 outs to work with, trailing by 5 runs.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about Dexter Fowler. Dexter hasn't been in the dugout all game long. The reason being is because the training staff here wants him to keep his knee iced and elevated. I talked to him about what it's like being on the DL for the first time in his major league career, and he said, you know what, it stinks. I hate not being able to play, to participate, to contribute. Basically what he's doing right now to rehab, he's icing it, he's elevating it, he's working on bone stimulation. But guys, he is bummed that he can't be out there helping his team in situations like this. Still an undetermined amount of time before Dex comes back, hopefully sooner rather than later. Drew and George?
Well, he's young, he'll heal fast, and I wouldn't expect any other reaction from him to be significantly disappointed, but he will be back. What a terrific first season he's having in the big leagues. A kid who's never played at the AAA level. Talking about Dexter Fowler. Great talent, great young man. And you know what, the guy who's replaced him, who's one of his closest friends, Eric Young Jr., is cut from the same cloth. We'll talk about raised right.
Well, raised in the locker room on how to play the game right, how to treat people, how to be professional both on and off the field, all those things above.
1-2 on Omar Quintanilla. Good swing by Omar. That's one of the things, George, we have, I'll speak for you here, we have the greatest jobs in the world. One of the things that makes it so much nicer is the guys we deal with, and for years it's been that way. Win or lose, you had a great bunch of guys. Oops, that goes flying.
Well, I think the thing about it is the younger players here, because of the less media attention for the players in the locker room here, stay a little more open with people here. They're able to form a relationship versus New York, where you got 400 people standing around your locker room or asking you to go to press conference and do difficult questions. Here it's 8 to 10 people after a ball game. They're out of there in 30 minutes.
Randy Wolf gets a strikeout at Quintanilla. That's his 4th of the night. That'll bring up Eric Young Jr. again. Time for tonight's Quest high-speed pitch. Randy Wolf, who's not about the big fastball, it's about changing speeds. He's hit 91. Josh Fogg went 3+. He hit 88. Brought to you by Quest High Speed Internet. How about this roll that Randy Wolf is on? He gave up 1 hit in 7 innings in his last outing. He's given up a whopping 4 hits and a run tonight in 7 1/3. One of those hits to EY.
Tell you what, he's doing very well with his delivery. He's repeating his delivery and his arm slot every time. That's why he's having the success that he's having.
This is going to go foul. One thing that Joe Torre pays attention to, just like any manager, when Randy Wolf takes the hill, though he doesn't have a lot of decisions this year, the club has won 17 of his 27 starts. So at the end of the day, the Dodgers are often shaking hands when Randy Wolf started the night.
Well, ego shouldn't allow you to worry about whether you got the W or not, because the people that make decisions, whether you're...
He stayed on that breaking ball pretty well. Second hit of the night for Eric Young Jr.
They understand what you mean to that ball club as a pitcher. Well, you're down 6-1 now. We talked earlier in the game not to take away his speed. Now's a good opportunity not to get picked off. You need base runners. It's his 8th inning. Down and in curveball. He did stay on this very, very well. It went from the outer half to the plate to the middle. He waited, attacked it. Second hit off of that breaking ball. That's going to be it for Mr. Wolf after 7 1/3 inning.
107, yes, 107 pitches, and he's done. Dodgers up 6-1. Eric Young Jr. with a base hit with 1 out in the 8th inning. And the former closer for the Baltimore Orioles, who was acquired right before the trade deadline in late July, George Sherrill. And he's been perfect so far. In a Dodger uniform, will take over. Ryan Spilborghs hit a solo home run against Randy Wolf in the 3rd. That is the sum total of the Rockies' offense tonight. Sherrill hides the ball well, and this ball is lined to right center field. Kemp will get there. It's hung up long enough for Matt Kemp to make the catch. And now Todd Helton. Helton's 0 for 3. Get these numbers for Sherrill against left-handed hitters. They are 7 for 60 this year. A 117 average. And lefties 1 for their last 17 against Sherrill.
One thing he does, he pounds the strike zone, he works to the outer half. He's used to dealing with big left-handed power hitters in the East, Ortiz being one of those guys with Boston. So he will spin a hard slider at you. See what left-handers have hit off of him. 0.67. They needed a left-hander to guide it down in their bullpen to offset. Now he does have a save with the Dodgers just last week. He came in and pitched in a ball game in the 9th inning. Broxton through the 8th inning.
1 and 2. Hey George, what's up with his cap? I mean, doesn't he have to put a little fold in that thing?
Oh, that's that flat bill thing, you know, from the new wave of kids that wear that flat bill out on top.
Two and 2. Sherrill was 20 of 23 in save opportunities with the Orioles with a 2.40 ERA. And on the ground to short. I don't know. You know what? That was pretty close. I think Hudson got there. But Furcal was rather casual. Eric Young Jr. almost beat the force play. We'll go to the 9th, 6-1 LA. You get a free tow and tax break, and you'll help change a kid's life by Tough Shed Storage Buildings and Garages. Call 1-800-BUY-TOUGH or visit them online at toughshed.com. And by the Colorado Lottery, don't forget to play. Dodgers have been in control throughout. 9th inning, 6-1 LA. More drama in the bottom of the 9th. We will find out. But first, here's Tom Helmer. What do you think, my friend?
Well, we're going to go with a little Duran, hungry like the wolf. We'll break down the pitching performance of Randy Wolf. Also, Andre the Giant, Andre Ethier with a big night. We'll break down his performance. And how do you spell relief? R-I-N-C-O-N. What a tremendous performance by Juan Rincon. All that's coming up after the game. Drew?
All right, Tom, thank you. James Loney will face Matt Herges here in the top of the 9th inning. Loney, a 3-run home run, 1 for 3. And Tulowitzki's not going to be able to get there. It's a broken bat single. I think the biggest swing of the bat tonight came off James Loney. 3-1 is a manageable deficit, even as well as Wolf was pitching. A 3-run shot, creating 5 runs of separation, and Randy Wolf's been really tough. Windshield damage, don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, online at safelite.com. 1-0 to Martin. 2-0.
First 15,000 through the gates on Saturday, September the 5th, will receive a knit hat courtesy of King Soopers. Purchase tickets to that ball game against the Diamondbacks. It's one at the Rockies ticket outlets or at ColoradoRockies.com.
That's in there, 2-1. This is pop foul. Joe Torre acknowledged after the ball game last night, we hear them coming. Talking about the Rockies, how can you not?
Well, the other comment he made, you know, and this is a settling thing that all the players in New York liked about Joe Torre. The guy said, yeah, it's tough, lost night, bad night, the whole deal, but, you know, we'll be here tomorrow. You know, it's kind of that calming effect he has on a lot of his ball clubs, particularly the New York Yankees, now here with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Player manager, not at all dissimilar to the demeanor of Jim Tracy.
Exactly.
3-2 on Russell Martin. Tough inning for the Rockies, the 4th inning. Josh Fogg started it and went home run, hit by pitch, walk, 3-run home run, single walk, and that was the end of the line for Josh Fogg. Then Rincon took over, got out of that mess, ended up pitching 4 perfect innings. Runner going on the ground to third, where they got the out there. They were able to turn it. What a play by Quintanilla. He hung on the bag. Loney was moving. It was bang bang at second, but they got the out call from Ron Copa. So it's a 5-4-3 double play.
Quick feet, quick hands. That's what gets this done. Ball's hit pretty hard. Atkins got it. One thought was to go to second base to get him. And because of the arm strength that Quintanilla has and his momentum coming across the bag, that's a nice play. Very lucky he didn't get hurt. This ball's down low. See how the low throw. Here's your high spikes and cleat coming in. And they're trying to hook Quintanilla by the shin and flip him. Didn't happen.
And one of the keys to that is he went to the back, the far back corner, like you're taught, to at least get a little bit of clearance room. Great turn by Quintanilla. Takes a lot of courage to turn to the second baseman. They're blind to that runner coming in. Orlando Hudson 0 for 2 and a walk.
Well, I go back a few years. Manny Trio guy over there, a guy named Mike Tyson, was the second baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals. They would straddle the back. They didn't go to the backside. They straddled it. And you better get down or they're going to tear your head off on a double play with the ball. They flipped it underhanded so hard to first base. And they would jump up with their left foot forward, would come up, that would be straddling as the runner would come into them. And if you didn't get down, there's a chance you're going to get stomped on. Those guys play second a little different than anybody else.
Another soft single. Hudson at first. And Juan Pierre is going to pinch hit for George Sherrill. Jonathan Broxton, even with the 5-run advantage, is tossing in the Dodger bullpen. Juan Pierre pinch hit last night, had a base hit. Burgess misses, ball 1. Quickly, American League scoreboard. Mariners leading the A's 3-1 in the 4th. Indians beat the Royals tonight 4-2. Luke Hochevar took the loss for Kansas City. Angels salvaged the game with Detroit. They won 4-2 at the Big A tonight. Actually, that was this afternoon, left field. And Spilborghs has it. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Rockies trailing 6-1. without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Juan Pierre stays in the ball game. Shockingly, defensively, they've taken Manny Ramirez out. And Jonathan Broxton, with the Dodgers up 5, will make his 56th appearance. The league is hitting less than 160 against him. You know what you're going to get.
7-1 overall record, 58 innings pitched, 2.95 earned run average. He throws the ball hard, folks. He's ran it up to 100 miles an hour. Typically likes to live to the outside corner on right-handed bats. He will throw a hard slider. He does have a changeup to go with it. Big, strong man.
58 innings, allowed only 32 hits. Tulowitzki will lead it off. Well, a reminder, when the Rockies do score 7 or more runs in a ball game, go the following day to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations, and you will receive 4 tacos for $1. Tulowitzki, an infield hit in the 6th inning. 1 for 3. Broxton is no picnic. And a downhill fastball cruised over at 98 miles an hour. Broxton leads all big league relievers with 87 strikeouts out of the pen. Randy Wolf went 7 1/3, allowed a run on 5 hits, walked a couple, struck out 5. He's in line for his 9th victory. Tomorrow, though, they have not formally announced it, because he hasn't been put on the roster yet. Vicente Padilla should be the starter, the former Texas Ranger, former Philadelphia Philly.
8-6 with the Rangers this year, released.
The Rockies will counter with Jorge De La Rosa. De La Rosa 12-8. Here's De La Rosa. Carlos Gonzalez. And this is toward the hole. Hudson. I didn't get it. Another infield hit for Tulowitzki. He's hit it in the right place.
Man, that may have been a questionable deal where Ethier probably should have gone to get the baseball. He started, backed away, then it was hit so slowly it gave Tulowitzki the open door to beat this out. First base hit for Tulowitzki against Broxton. He's now 1 for 12. Dale Scott's had 3 very close calls at first base tonight.
He really has. I know what you were going to say.
No,
George.
I'm not. I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Hop has had some success against Broxton, 6 for 14 with a home run.
Because Dale still wants to throw you out of a ball game.
He never has. Earlier. Yeah, he missed me for quite a while.
Brad Hop. Man, that's hot. I'm looking around. There's a great crowd tonight, 38,350. And to me, most of them have stayed because they don't want to fess up tomorrow at work and say, yeah, well, you know, yeah, left.
Well, a real dear friend of mine here in Denver, John Phillips, raised there. He's the head pro at Green Gables Golf Course. Said the other night he brought his son Parker to the ball game, and it was the 12th inning. So he got school tomorrow. 1 more. 13th. 1 more. We're going home. It's the 13th. And he said, I started hearing all the roaring out in the parking lot. So it's pretty wild. Knew the Rockies had won.
There's 1, there's 2.
I can tell you this, there's not a lot of people, because of the way this team has played, and you know, you're mentioning this, and not only just leaving the ballpark, but turning off the TV, looking up 6-1, going, yeah, I'm going to bed. Nah, I better not. You know, I better watch this last inning. I got to see what happens here.
Yeah, there have been a lot of folks kicking themselves, particularly after Monday night's game. It was a late night. Those great baseball moments. And Spilborgh's hit the grand slam. 2 outs, Atkins at the plate, nobody on. Atkins lines it down the right field line.
You got to go all the way back to May 27th. The one inning that he had difficult here at Coors Field, speaking of Broxton, the 1 inning, 1 hit. He only gave up 1 earned run, but he walked 3, struck out 2. LA won the game. It was 8-6, but it was an ugly one. It wasn't a safe situation when he came into the ball game, but he made it kind of scary towards the end. He's had a couple of those. That is a big, strong man, though. People start to say, going to lose velocity, going to lose this as the season goes along. I mean, he's 6', Drew, 6'7", maybe 6'6". They list him at about 255. What do you think?
No, they list him at
300.
No, they list him at 292.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're off about 8 pounds. What do you think?
I like what they used to call fridge. Remember, they listed him at whatever they listed him at. They said he was a biscuit shy of 350. He's a good breakfast shy of 300. Kids from Georgia. Here's the 1-2. No swing. I said 292. I was doing that on memory, George. They list him at 294.
He gained 2 pounds since he signed?
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
In the air, down the right field line. Loney's going to get there in foul ground. It was the Dodgers' night from the get-go. Andre Ethier, 2-run home run in the first. Randy Wolf was outstanding tonight. So LA evens up this 3-game set at 1 apiece. They move 3 games in front again of the Rockies at 75 and 52. The Rockies fall to 72 and 54.